G'day everyone, my name is Isaac and welcome to round 6 of the Adrenaline GT GT3 Championship. We are approaching the pointy end of the season and we are here at Spa for this week's Lobby C action, and I'm happy to say that I've got Ben alongside me. Ben, welcome back, glad to have you back with us. Set to be an exciting race today here at Spa.
Yes, thank you for having me back again, Isaac. It's been a few weeks since I've been able to compete as well or be in the commentary box with you, so it's great to be back. And looking forward to coming back to Spa. What a great track. We have quite a simple strategy, but set to be a cracker of a race.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an absolute cracker. It's beautiful to have you back racing and in the commentary box. Let's have a look at the track stats for Spa. So 7 kilometers, almost on the nose, 20 turns, 97 meters of elevation change. Not as much as last week at Bathurst, but we do have Radion / Eau Rouge, whatever you prefer to call it. The run up the hill towards the Camel Straight is 40 meters of elevation change, and it's quite steep as well. So a nice steep uphill run. If you get a good run through there, you can find yourself looking to make a move down into turn 7. So 13 laps of this glorious circuit with a mandatory soft tyre. So expect drivers to either not change tyres if they're bold, we saw that a couple times in the Lobby A race, or for drivers to just go from a soft to soft strategy. A couple corners to make note of here, obviously. The first corner, La Source, you could make a nice dive bomb move in there, or if you can get a nice run out of La Source and up through Radion and Eau Rouge, you'll find yourself with a nice run down the Camel Straight looking to make a move into turns 7, 8 and 9. If you can get a nice exit through Pouon, you could find yourself getting a nice run into turn 13. But what you want is a nice run out of turn 16 through Blanchemont and down to the bus stop chicane. That is where we will see, I think, majority of the moves in today's race is down into the bus stop. So definitely keep a lookout for that. The undercut around here as well will be quite powerful, especially going onto new tyres. So look for drivers to stop early and take advantage of those soft tyres. Let's have a look at our grid order for this one. So Jay Ballack lines up on the pole down in Lobby C this week after a difficult couple weeks, but great for him to get the pole position by 7/10 over Unchained Chief in second, Alba in third, Stiffy Bone fourth, Speed fifth, Mike Honcho, BC Bond in 7th. Ascended on debut here at Adrenaline GT, so the second car to make his debut this week is what we had Curbing Texas in Lobby A. He's in 8th this one for PHG Edie Sports. Making Bacon 9th, and X-Tanner coming out of 10th in this one. Very exciting grid lineup, Ben. This is going to be a very exciting race.
It sure is. As you said, we've got someone making their debut, which is always great to see here at AGT. We've got my Enduro teammate Jay Ballack starting on pole. Interesting to see what he does. And may have a few surprises. Alba, always a very solid driver. Be interesting to see what he does from third position.
Yeah, we're definitely keen to see what happens, especially off the start here. So let's jump into it. It's race time here in Spa. All right, here we go then. We're getting ready to go. Lights are out and we are away here at Spa. Jay Ballack will lead us down towards turn 1. And I believe there are cars side by side already. That is BC Bonds and Ascended. We're just going to get the ladder up for you. I apologise, we don't have that yet, so ignore that. There we go. I completely missed that, my apologies. But we now have the totem up for you. So BC Bond up the inside of Ascended, battling for, what was that, 7th place already. But it seems a fairly clean start so far. Everyone sort of line astern. We saw this in Lobby A as well. Alba right on the back of Unchained Chief. You can make use of the draft, especially down the Camel Straight. It is quite a strong draft. So making moves early. Here we go up the inside. Alba up the inside of Unchained Chief. That was a beautiful move. Stiffy Bone right in behind as well, looking to capitalise. This is brilliant for Jay Ballack, Ben, who's using this little early battle to build himself a little bit of a gap already.
Certainly, Jay Ballack's got a great solid start there. That was a very aggressive but good move from Alba as well. Got into the draft there of Unchained and used the power of that big BMW to get through. Now we've got Stiffy Bone trying to go down 3 wide here.
3 wide. This is going to not end well into Pouon if they can't sort this one out. Stiffy Bone and Unchained Chief make side-to-side contact, and Unchained Chief now finds himself back down in 5th place. Stiffy Bone holds on, but Speed is having a sniff here to go from 4th to 2nd. He started in 5th, so he'd go from 5th to 2nd at the start of this one. Mike Honcho down in 5th at the moment, behind these guys as well. Speed and Unchained Chief still going side by side as we come down into, this is turn 15 and 16 now. Speed slots back in behind. Stiffy Bone now finding himself with a little bit of breathing room over this battle behind him. So you can see just how much you want to avoid battling cars early in this one, because it will cost you track time. Here we go. Speed right behind Unchained Chief. Has a look around the outside of the track. He thought about hanging around the outside, and he's going to go side by side into the final hairpin. No, he backs out, and they go line astern into that final corner, into the bus stop, I should say. So a lot of action just in the space of half a lap there, Ben. Lot to keep up with so far.
This is incredible action here with these four. And unfortunately, we lost Alba.
Oh, we did,
Alba
yes.
made a bit of a mistake. Alba made a bit of a mistake and unfortunately dropped from 2nd almost back to the field by the look of it. So hopefully with his pace, we'll be able to come back a bit through the field and salvage a bit of a result, but unlucky for him there.
Yeah, very unlucky. I also should point out, we did also lose X-Tanner. He wasn't... Oh, massive crash for Unchained Chief. As I say that, he goes head first straight into the wall at the top of Radion at very high speed. That would have been over 200 kilometers an hour. And given that we have heavy damage on in this race, Ben, that'll be catastrophic for his car. That's going to drastically hurt him. Obviously, that is a flat-out corner coming up through Eau Rouge, and he just lost control of the car, and it spat him out into the wall. And that is the nature of this circuit. It can bite.
It certainly can, especially up there on Eau Rouge. Looked like he came through with too much speed and may have understeered and just lost control of the car. Luckily for him, this is a virtual game. Otherwise, he could be quite seriously injured right now.
Yes, he very well could be, but also these modern GT3 cars are they've got great crash protection as well. So we would hope that if this was a real life accident that he would be perfectly okay, and I'm sure he would be, but thank God this is virtual, and there's also probably even better for him, no damage to the bank account either. It's just it's all virtual damage here, so nothing it won't cost him any money to fix that one. He'll just have to drive through the pits. But yes, as I was saying, we did lose X-Tanner at the start of this one. He was unable to get away. Must have been, we believe it was some sort of disconnect. Just didn't even get underway right at the start. So very disappointing for him after a string of strong results. But he'll look to bounce back next week, hopefully. So we look forward to seeing him back on track next week. We'll check in further up the fields with our drivers running around at the front. So we've got Jay Ballack. He's pulling away here. The gap that he has pulled to the cars behind is quite substantial. So he's enjoying a nice bit of fresh air early. Stiffy Bone, great start for him. Qualified, I believe it was 4th, and finds himself up into 2nd. So far, so good for him. He is performing well, and Speed right behind him followed him all the way through to 3rd. So nice welcome back for you with a fair bit of action so far, Ben. They're putting on a show.
It sure is. I haven't had a chance to take my seat yet. But it's very interesting to see Stiffy Bone and Unchained, he's 2nd and 3rd. I think they might be stuck together for the majority of this race by the look of it. They seem to be quite even. I think Speed might actually have a bit of pace on Stiffy Bone, so we'll see how this works out. And I believe that's Honcho in 4th position just there. He may look to capitalise on any mistake from the two up in front as well.
Yes, he's right there as well. So if these guys either make a mistake or, Speed catches up and they get caught battling, Mike Honcho is ready to pounce. Unchained Chief as well, interestingly, decided to stay out and not pit to repair that damage yet. So maybe just trying to run as long as he can with that front end damage. It will be quite severe and it will impact the car quite heavily. I know on this game, obviously we're running, this is, if you're watching this, when you're watching this is running on the old physics, obviously earlier this week on Thursday, We had patch 1.49, which updated the physics. So this is running the old physics model, and even on the old physics model, the damage was quite, you could feel it quite a lot when the car had a bit of front end aero and suspension damage. So he will be feeling that understeer and probably that lack of grip as he runs around. So hopefully he doesn't lose too much time to the cars in front and behind him, so he can fight back towards the end of this one. We'll check in down the field as well. I think it's all fairly quiet now. Everything's started to normalise. We had a bit of action at the start, and then everyone's just sort of started to spread out and find their own bit of racetrack, as we do tend to see with Lobby C.
It's good to see Alba's back in the field as well, and hopefully he'll be able to drive through the field. He qualified in 3rd position. Unfortunately, had a bit of an early incident there, so see if he can make his way through and what strategy he can come up with from here.
Yeah, he's certainly got the pace, you know, qualifying 3rd. I think he definitely has the pace to catch up and try and put some moves on these guys in front of him and pull his way back up through the field. Obviously, it would have been very frustrating for him. Was in 2nd and was looking for a strong result, and just an unfortunate mistake, which is so easy to make around here, but can cost you so much time, as we saw with a few guys in Lobby A and B. So definitely can bite, but also can serve you really well this track if you get it right. So here's our race leader, Jay Ballack, your Enduro teammate, Ben. He is so far running away with this one. Just nice, smooth and consistent, plenty of clean air. Obviously, we regularly see him running in Lobby B, but due to how many drivers we have in this league, which is a great thing. We have a lot of drivers that want to be a part of AGT. We can't always fit all the Pro-Am guys into Lobby B, so sometimes we have to have drivers drop down to Lobby C for a week, and Ballack got the call this week to be one of the guys that had to drop down on numbers, and he's proving at the moment that he definitely deserves that spot in Lobby B with the lead that he has got. So definitely smooth and consistent from him so far. Nothing too super crazy in terms of lap times, but doesn't need to, just needs to be smooth and consistent, which is what you want, Ben.
It certainly is, and it could prove quite beneficial actually for jobs today to be in Lobby C. And as we can see, he gets to drive his own race, racing his own pace. He's not battling anybody. Basically, it's his race to mess up himself here. So as long as he keeps it clean and good race pace, which is one of Job's real strengths, and why I'm looking forward to racing with him in Enduros. Very consistent driver. He should get a good overall result here, I believe.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you want. Obviously, he had a tough week at Monza in Lobby B. He had that contact with Isaac Fogg and OGR Stealth, and that was a bit of a mess, that Monza race, for a few people, and then missed out on the wet race in the Nürburgring. Decided that was going to be his drop round, and then just a bit of a difficult week last week at Bathurst as well, with some contact at turn 1 and then a late race spin. So missed out a couple. He still had strong results, was still in the top 10 in both of those races, Monza and Bathurst, but wants to push forward and move further up the grid, and I think this will be good for him to build a bit of confidence back, get a bit of consistency back in. And you know, he's a very talented driver, and as you said, he's very consistent, especially when he's in clean air like this, and can consistently put in good lap times, as we can see at the totem on the left. So running very well. Definitely a massive gap to Stiffy Bone behind, who was also running quite consistently in the 18s as well, and then not far behind him is Speed. But Stiffy Bone, you can see that gap is a little bit bigger than it was previously, so they're starting to open up the gap now, Stiffy Bone, and pull away from Speed, which is very good for him, because it will remove a bit of that pressure of the cars behind. And we got Mike Honcho here, Ben, just sitting in behind Speed, maybe looking to capitalise. But yeah, a lot of drivers, I guess a lot of drivers just running their own race at this moment in time and just trying to be consistent.
It sure are. It's been quite impressive by Stiffy Bone today. As you said, started 4th, moved up to 2nd. He's now driving away on genuine pace from Speed and Honcho. So it'll be interesting to see if he can can he catch up at all to Jobs? Or will Honcho also pass speed? I think he's just there waiting his time, seeing what he can do, but I think this might turn into a nice battle towards the end of the race. Also, will Honcho maybe go in for the undercut? As you said before, the undercut is very powerful here around Spa Circuit, so something for Honcho and potentially a few drivers lower in the field to look at and gain a few seconds on cars in front of them.
Yeah, exactly. You are very much right, especially for drivers like Mike Honcho, who is not that far behind speed, that if he does pit, it could make a difference. We did see across the other two lobbies that the undercut is quite powerful around here, especially considering you're going from soft tyres to soft tyres. So, you know, you're going from a used set of tyres to a brand new set of the fastest tyres. So, yeah, definitely maybe not as powerful as if you were going from hards to softs, but still definitely very powerful, especially at a long lap and such a grip focused circuit like Spa. So we'll have to see what he decides to do. It's lap 6 now, so I think this is probably around when cars will start to come in and pit for fuel and tyres. Here you can see Mike Honcho is closed right up to the back of Speed now, so this gap has closed down significantly. So if Speed is probably going to make this difficult for him, he's definitely not going to want to make it easy. So this is where Mike Honcho will need to decide whether he wants to get caught up battling Speed or whether he wants to use this to his advantage. You can see Stiffy Bone is pulling away from these two, and Mike Honcho, he won't be happy with just third if he can get it. He'll want to go up even higher, so he will have to decide whether he sticks it out and tries to battle as he runs wide there through Puon. Will he stick it out and try and battle with Speed, or will he go for the undercut and try and grab him in the pits? He's just dropped back off a little bit. We have a yellow flag. Not sure what that is for. That is for Jay Ballack, your race leader, has had a moment coming out of turn 14, maybe a bit wide. We'll have to see if we can get a replay, but that promotes Stiffy Bone into the lead of the race. So the man that we talked about, who was being ultra smooth and consistent, I've done it again. I did it multiple times last week with the commentator's curse, and I've done it again this week. We've cursed him, and he's made a mistake coming out of turn 14, and now finds himself behind Stiffy Bone.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Oh! And the game has reset him.
Made another mistake. I think he tried to go to rectify his mistake and pass Stiffy Bone, and I think he ran wide, touched the grass, and thrown him out.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can recompose himself, get past this traffic where he knows he's got the speed. The big thing is, does he have any damage? Has he hit anything in the previous incident? We don't know. We haven't seen that. So it'll be interesting to see what pace he's got now in this car.
Yeah, well, the viewers will know more than we will, because they will see the replay of that incident before we will, obviously. But hopefully no damage for him. But yeah, very frustrating. I think he got a bit loose coming into the bus stop there, maybe touched the grass on the outside of the car. Just sort of let go on him under brakes. Also probably overheated the tyres a bit with that spin. But he's right on the back of Speed now. He's going to have a look up the inside. They go side by side down the Camel Straight towards turn 7. Move is already done. He has passed him. That is a beautiful move to get himself back up into second. And now it's all out trying to catch Stiffy Bone. I'm not sure. We'll have a look, just a quick look at Stiffy Bone's last few laps. And it looks like Stiffy Bone at the moment is the faster of the two cars. Obviously a 35 on the last lap for Ballack with that spin, but a 20 on lap 5, 20.0 on lap 5, and a 19.4 on lap 5 for Stiffy Bone. So he is the quicker car at the moment, but Jay Ballack, as we just hold in this camera angle, we just got stuck there for a second. Jay Ballack will look to try and just build that consistency back up, just regain his composure. As he said, he doesn't want to do anything too silly now, just get himself back into it. And I think it's very important just to re-establish yourself, lower the heart rate, because the heart rate does get very high when you have a moment like that. So just lower the heart rate, get back into a rhythm, and I'm sure he will try and catch up and be fighting Stiffy Bone right at the end of this one. I think it'll be very close between those two. But now we do have to beg the question, Ben, of strategy. What do you do about strategy, especially for someone like Jay Ballack, who had a moment, had a spin? Now, we're at the halfway point of this race. Do you pit now and potentially try to go for some sort of an undercut on Stiffy Bone just to gain a bit of track position? or do you stay out and run long and then hope that Stiffy Bone is forced into a mistake? But here we go. I've answered my own question. He's answered it for me. Jay Ballack dives in, Speed dives in, and Mike Honcho dives in. So we've got 3 cars, 3 of our top 4 in the pits.
I was going to say, Isaac, I would do opposite to what the leader is doing. If the leader had gone in, I would have stayed out. If the leader had stayed out, as we saw here, Stiffy Bone had, I would have gone in and gone for that undercut. So for me, Jay Ballack, along with Honcho and Speed, have done the right thing here. Be interesting to see really how strong this undercut is. As we see here, Ballack's getting his tyres changed, fuel going in, and he's about to exit very soon.
Yep, so 61 litres of fuel now on board for Jay Ballack. That will get him more than easily to the end. Alba and Unchained Chief also decided to stay out. So Unchained Chief, with that damage that he has from that incident up Eau Rouge, has decided to stay out even longer. So the gap between Speed and Mike Honcho has grown a fair bit as well as a result of that stop. So maybe that Porsche a bit more fuel hungry than the Ferrari is, so a bit more fuel on board for Mike Honcho, which cost him. And then we've got BC Bond ascended, who I believe stopped on lap 2, looking at his lap times there, possibly. Though not entirely sure. So he may have already stopped. Making Bacon now in last. And they have all stopped. So it's just our top 3, I believe, that are yet to stop. So it'll be quite interesting. Obviously, Jay Ballack now going for the undercut on Stiffy Bone Ben. He was a fair way behind him, but we will watch with great interest to see how much that gap actually closes up when Stiffy Bone makes his stop.
Definitely, and it looks like, by the look of the pit stop, the time of the pit stop as well, and also just the way Jay Ballack was able to pull past Speed before the pit stop, it didn't look like Jay Ballack had picked up any damage really on his car. If it was very minimal damage. So that's hopefully something that's not going to cost him a lot of time moving forward in this race. Oh, and it looks like Stiffy Bone's made a bit of an error on his braking marker coming into the pits here.
Yeah, he went quite deep into the final chicane there, but he's now found himself in the pit lane, so he is in. Jay Ballack is currently coming through Blanchimont, so there is Jay Ballack. You can see his dot on the screen coming down towards the bus stop chicane in the top right corner. We will watch that. So here we go. Stiffy Bone pulling up to his pit box now as Jay Ballack enters the final chicane. Unchained Chief and Alba also in. There's fuel going in for Stiffy Bone. Jay Ballack coming down the front straight now. Will technically move into the race lead for a second. Going to be very close. Where is Jay Ballack? Here he is in the final corner. And there is Stiffy Bone just in front of him. So he did gain, just not quite enough, Ben.
Not quite enough, but the race is on, Isaac. The race is on. Let's see what Jay Ballack can do. We know he's got the pace. Stiffy Bone has raced an extremely good, consistent race the whole time here. So he definitely deserves his first position right now.
Yes, he certainly does. He's had a brilliant race so far, Stiffy Bone. Very smooth and consistent. I hope I don't curse him with that one. Obviously, with the commentator's curse again. But I would like to point out as well, Unchained Chief, who was a bit further down the order, same with Alba. They stayed out a bit longer and have found themselves up in 6th and 7th position, which I can't exactly remember where they were when this race ended. Sorry, when they... Sorry, I don't mean that. I mean, what do I mean? I mean before they pitted. But before all the cars started pitting, I can't remember where they were on track, but I believe this is a net gain for them. And you can see Unchained Chief right behind BC Bond. He did have to fix his damage in the pit lane, so he is now fully unleashed. He's got a fully repaired car. No more damage on that PHG Racing Porsche. And that means that he's going to have a look at BC Bond here. It's getting a bit racy into Pouon. Looking up the inside, thought better of it, as I don't really think that's a corner, especially in GT3 cars, that you can go side by side through. But he's going to try and get himself a nice run through. He's right on the back of him here. BC Bond struggling for grip a little bit in that Aston Martin. And I think he's going to just try and get a good run out of here. Alba in behind as well could invite himself into this if this battle goes on much longer, because we know there's a lot of pace in that BMW, as evidenced by both Alba and Jay Ballack around here. And Unchained Chief, so through Blanchimont, he's got a nice run on the back of BC Bond. He's right behind him now. He's going to try and have a look through here, I would say, into the bus stop chicane. Right there with him, flat out, through the fast right-hander there, into the final chicane. He does have a look up the inside, not quite deep enough on the brakes. BC Bond covers him off. Beautiful racing from these two, but he's got a beautiful exit again out of the final corner down towards turn 1. Is he going to be close enough for a move this time? No, he's a little bit further away than he was coming into the final chicane, but you can see that he's very racy here, Unchained Chief, and looking to probably make this move sooner rather than later before Alba gets in on this battle pack.
Alba's right on them. He's within a couple of corners. If Unchained Chief doesn't get this move done, Alba's going to be right there with both of them.
Yep, he's going to be right there, and you can already see the gain that he's made on these two. As we've got Mike Honcho, and I believe that is Speed right behind each other in front of that as well. But here we go, Unchained Chief right behind BC on the straight line. Speed of that Aston Martin is something to behold. It is quite quick down the Camel Straight, but BC Bond just pulls a little bit wide. Unchained Chief has a little look, doesn't quite make it stick. We'll jump on board with BC Bond here and just have a look. Oh, I did that wrong. Where do I think it's my first day. I can't even look behind me here. But here we go. This is the front bumper of Unchained Chief. He's got Alba right behind him. He's going to have another look. We're back to where we were last time we came through Puon with nice and close through there. He's going to try and get a good run out of this corner. This has been going on for over a lap now, this battle. And he's looking quite aggressive. Unchained Chief wants to make this move stick. He's trying to make up for lost time. He was quite high up early in this race. And I believe this is currently on track the biggest battle that we've got so far in terms of where everyone is on track at the moment. I think Stiffy Bone and Jay Ballack, they are quite close together. I'll just have a quick look at that. I can see their dot is quite close. And yeah, here we go. So Jay Ballack and Stiffy Bone also battling for the race lead are quite close together. And I feel like this one may run all the way to the end, Ben. This one is going to go down to the wire.
This is very interesting. Ballack got a bit loose coming out of there in the last corner. But this race is really heating up. Battles everywhere.
Yes, and here we go.
Well, here we go.
Down the inside, Unchained Chief on BC Bond. Beautiful move. Made that stick. And Alba now has invited himself to the party. He is right there on the back of BC Bond as well. That Aston Martin just struggling for traction out of the corners. But does do well down the straight, so I would think he would do quite well here. Alba right behind BC Bond. There's a little nudge, and he spun him. Oh, no. The contacts, a little bit of overlap from Alba on BC Bond, and just that slight front to rear contact with the right rear corner of BC Bond's car was just enough to spin him around, and that means that Alba, while he does get up into 6th position, will probably be at the behest of the stewards there, Ben. We'll have to look into that one, I would think.
Certainly, I think that will be reviewed by the steward team there. I mean, Alba definitely had the pace on BC Bond, but yeah, it looked like he may have got into him a little bit too hard and pushed his rear around. So we'll see what they have to say after the race, but you know, feel sorry a bit for BC Bond. He was battling quite well and quite hard, but hopefully he'll have a nice solid end to the race for himself.
Yeah, hopefully he can just keep pushing. He's down in 7th now, which is, I believe, where he started. Yes, it is where he started. So he started 7th. He's currently sitting 7th. So it's still a solid result for him in this one, but he'll want to try and push to maybe close up to the back of these guys in front of him. He does have pace in that Aston Martin, and hopefully he can make a bit of use of it. We'll make some use of it towards the end of this race. Alba and Unchained Chief still quite close together. Mike Honcho trying to chase down Speed for 3rd position at the moment. Had a bit of a mixed bag last week in Bathurst. Ben, I don't know if you caught the Lobby C race, but he was performing quite well. Had a nice battle with a few cars going, and then just made a bit of a mistake towards the end of the race and just brought himself undone a bit. So he'll be wanting to rectify that one this week and build his consistency up.
Yeah, it was quite unfortunate. Unfortunately, I did not get to see the Lobby C or any races last week, unfortunately, but I did hear of the events that happened. So, as you said, hopefully Honcho will be able to get a good result here. Sitting fourth, just outside the podium, on good, just set his fastest lap of his race there. So, he's definitely got pace in this car, and we'll see if he can get up to speed and pull past him for that third position.
Yeah, it's going to be a fairly close battle to the end. Speaking of close battles, these guys have not let each other go yet. This is Stiffy Bone and Jay Ballack. That gap is sitting at about a second. He has not moved for the last, I want to say, 4 laps. That has been, ever since Stiffy Bone pitted, that this gap has been about as consistent as it can be. Jay Ballack is doing everything he can to try and find a way past Stiffy Bone. He is right with him now. There's only a lap and a half to go in this one, so he hasn't got a lot of time left. He knows that if he wants this win, he has to make it stick soon. He has to get something done soon. He is looking. He is right there, Ben. He's not letting him go.
He's certainly not. And he's going to be upset and annoyed at himself for his early mistakes. If you remember the mistakes he made. So he's going to do well to hopefully get past Stiffy Bone, see what he does. But this is going to go right down to the wire. I'm excited to see what happens here.
Yeah, it certainly is. They are right with each other as we come through turns. I believe that's 13 and 14. Here we go. Have a look to the outside. And can't quite make it stick, but this is very exciting stuff with the 2 race leaders. They are neck and neck as we come through. Blanchimont down towards the fast right-hander that will lead us to the bus stop chicane. Mike Honcho has lost a position. I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll check in a second, but we got to follow this because Stiffy Bone is pushing really hard to keep him. Jay Ballack runs wide onto the dirt off the curb. He's going to have a look. Stiffy Bone covers. They made contact, front to rear contact into the final corner. Stiffy Bone will be reset as to behind. I think Jay Ballack is going to redress that one. Oh man, what a battle into that final corner. I think there was a bit of front to rear contact. Stiffy Bone looked like he moved in the braking zone to try and cover Jay Ballack. So we'll have to maybe get a replay of that from onboard Jay Ballack just to see exactly what happened with that front to rear contact. But there was contact and it pushed speed off. And we know that, Stiffy Bone, off. And we know that if you try and cut that chicane, the game will just automatically reset you to back to the start of the corner. So Jay Ballack decided to redress that one and also gets a half-second penalty for track limits. So here we go. We're going to have a look at this incident from on board with Jay Ballack. Here we go, down through Blanchimont and the fast right-hander. They are neck and neck. There is nothing separating him. He has a little bit of look to the outside, gets on the AstroTurf. And then, as we come into the braking zone, he just brakes and Stiffy Bone moves across to cover. And we'll have another quick look at that. Apologies for ruining the effect with the the menu coming up there. But here we go. So he gets wide on the corner. And then as they come into the braking zone, it looks like Stiffy Bone maybe brakes a little bit across him. And Jay Ballack just has nowhere to go and makes contact. So unfortunate for those guys. But Jay Ballack will give the position back, it looks like. And they'll push on to the end of this one. Here we go. Let's have a look at what happened with Mike Honcho. We're on board with him now. We're getting a nice external view. So coming down through after the corners after Puon. This is turn 13 and 14. Gets a little bit loose in the car and just feeds it into the gravel trap. And then that puts some dirt on the tyres. He's down into 5th with Alba right behind. Puts some dirt on the tyres. And then coming through turn 15 just gets quite loose. And a massive sideways slide for him. Manages to get the car pointing the right way again and going. But yeah, very frustrating for him. He was doing so well in 4th place. And now will find himself down in 6th. So running well. Just unfortunate with 2 laps to go. Well, 1 lap to go now in this one.
Which is going to bring speed into this now. He's not far off Jay Ballack in 3rd. So really unfortunate there, to be honest, for both Jay Ballack and Stiffy Bone, both having amazing races. Stiffy Bone in particular, having an incredible race. We'd have to see what the stewards say about that. Contact Isaac, as you said, did look a little bit like Stiffy Bone may have moved quite late under brakes, but I'll reserve the comment until we see some replays.
Yeah. We'll save the rulings for the stewards. I think on that one, we just like to see some good racing, which we certainly have got on this final lap here. I will point out as well, Mike Honcho, unfortunately, a bit of a mistake coming through Puon. Now finds himself down in 6th place, which promotes Unchained Chief to 4th and Albert to 5th. So a little bit of a frustrating result for him as well again this week. Still a strong result in 6th place, but 4th place was on the cards there for him before that mistake was made. So hopefully we can see him again bounce back next week, and Trial Mountain, hopefully those Porsches will be strong and he can fight up the front again.
Certainly, and here we have last lap. We have Stiffy Bone leading. It looks like he's going to take the win from Jay Ballack.
Yeah.
Isaac, bring it home.
I will do my best as we come through the final quarter. It's been such an intriguing battle. It could have gone either way, but he's fought hard. He's been consistent. He's put in the work this season. He had a tough start to the year, but he's done well. Stiffy Bone brings it home to win in Lobby C at Spa. Jay Ballack in 2nd. Speed comes home 3rd with Unchained Chief, a beautiful comeback in 4th. Alba in 5th. And Mike Honcho is going to round the final corner. Could have had 4th. The small mistake did cost him today, but he will come home 6th. BC Bond in 7th, Making Bacon just quiet down the order for him today. And Ascended as well. Another quiet race. Not quite the debut he probably would have wanted. Just didn't seem to gel with this track too much. Which will be something that he'll hopefully work on and, go again next week at Trial Mountain. But yeah, not necessarily the debut he would have wanted today. Qualified quite well, actually, and was looking promising, but I think just a bit of a tricky one for him today, and things just maybe didn't go his way entirely. So he'll come home and bring up the rear of the field in this one in 9th. Obviously, as we mentioned earlier, X-Tanner failing to finish in this one due to a disconnect, which is very disappointing. But I've got to ask, Ben, there's been a lot of action today, and I might put you on the spot a little bit with this one, but driver of the day, who are you picking for this one?
Well, first of all, I think overall that was one of the most exciting Lobby C races I've seen this season, which is great. A lot of action, a lot of battles, a lot of mistakes as well. But I think overall the most consistent driver for me today was the man at the front of the pack, Stiffy Bone. Probably one of the best drivers I've seen him perform this season. Stayed relatively out of trouble. Bit of trouble there with Jay Ballack towards the end. Great sportsmanship by Jay Ballack as well. Redressing that position though. And Stiffy Bone really deserved his victory today, so congratulations to him.
Yeah, 100%. Very good choice for driver of the day, and well done to Stiffy Bone. Well done to all our drivers. That was certainly a very entertaining race. Let's have a look at these results one more time before we go. So Stiffy Bone brings it home for his first win in AGT Lobby C. Jay Ballack in 2nd. Speed 3rd. Unchained Chief, a great comeback after that early square up, you could say, with the barriers at the top of Radion. Will bring her home in 4th. Alba 5th. Mike Honcho 6th. BC Bond 7th. Making Bacon 8th. And Ascended in 9th. And X-Tanner with that disconnected DNF. It's been a great week of action. Ben, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to have you back in the commentary box.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great race.
Thank you all for tuning in as well. We thank you so much for the support that you give our channel and our league. We really appreciate it. If you haven't already, make sure you go and check out Lobbies B and A from this week as well. Definitely plenty of action to catch up on across those races. And we can't wait to bring you all the action from Trial Mountain next week. Only 2 rounds left. We have Trial Mountain next week and then Dragon Trail with the infamous Death Chicane in as our season finale. So 2 very exciting weeks coming up. It's all to play for in the championship, We can't wait to bring you all that action next week. But until then, I've been Isaac. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.